In the early hours of the morning, in Philadelphia at the Lincoln Financial Center, we faced Espérance de Tunis for the final game of our group stage. And this was our be-all end-all game of whether or not we continued in this tournament. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing everything about this game, from the lineups to the goals, to the statistics, the stats, to statistics, stats, whatever the bloody hell went on in this game, we're going to discuss about it. We're going to discuss the individual performances, we're going to discuss my man of the match, and my shithouse of the match. Alright, let's get into the video. I have to admit, watching a 2 o'clock in the morning game is not easy for anyone. You know, the fear that we're going to be going into a game that if I have to sit up at 2 o'clock in the morning, it better be bloody entertaining, and we better walk all over them, because I tell you what, if we're getting walked all over at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to bed, and then there's no content to be put out, and I look like a shithouse. But that's not the case, is it? Chelsea went ahead and won 3-0 against Espérance de Tunis. And we dominated the game. And I mean dominated. To a point that it was a bit rude, if I'm being honest, especially with the amount of fans, Espérance de Tunis fans that were there. And I had so many concerns with the lineup. 8 changes he made to the lineup. And when I seen that lineup originally, I was like, oh God, here we go. I remember trying to go to sleep at like 11 o'clock at night just to get a couple hours of kip in. And I set my alarm for like 1:45 and I couldn't sleep. I was too busy thinking, oh, you know, what am I going to talk about in the next video if we lose? And how are we going to get round this one? And I seen the lineup and my brain just went, oh my God, what's going on? I thought, this is a joke, right? This has to be a joke. But no, I was wrong. And I have to apologise, hold my hands up and say, these boys played a better game and controlled the game better than our previous game with our normal starting lineup. And I don't know how to feel about that, because there was a couple people in that lineup that I really questioned. And there was a player that actually surprised me more than anything. And I don't think you're going to know who I'm on about here, but I think he surprised me, considering the fact that, little hint, he's going to leave. Okay? So there's that one. So, first things first, it was boiling hot again, and I don't know how to feel for these players. I think it was like 32 degrees in Philadelphia. You know, it was a 9 o'clock kickoff for them, so I thought, oh, maybe it's not going to be as hot. 32 degrees at 9 o'clock at night. Are you crazy? You know, you've seen the videos of them just sat in front of these aircon units, just spraying cold air at them. And then you see the footage from, you know, the previous games of the Bayern Munich players all sat in the changing rooms. The substitutes sat inside. At what point is the health of these players going to be taken seriously? Now, I know there's people going to comment and say, oh, but, you know, what about all the Americans that live in this country and they do it all the time? Okay, but that's their choice and that's what they're used to. You climatize yourself to the environment, right? In the UK, you don't have to deal with that sweltering heat, and if you do, it's a very one-off. So and when we do get a heat wave, to be fair, we moan, because it's just humid and it's gross and no one likes it. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the game. I'm happy that we're through to the next round. I'm happy because we avoid Bayern Munich, which, if I'm being honest, is the harder game. So some might say, we lost the game to Flamengo, so we could avoid Bayern Munich to come second in the group, so you get an easier route through. I don't know, maybe there could be a little conspiracy there. I'm just saying, a little conspiracy. Don't get me wrong, Benfica is no walk in the park. It's going to be a hard game. It always will be. And that game's, Saturday, 9 o'clock in the evening, in Charlotte. I can't remember the name of the stadium. Doesn't matter. There'll be a pre-match video for that one coming out on Friday, I reckon. Yeah, possibly Friday. So before anything else, let's talk about the preferred line. Well, sorry. You all see my preferred lineup. Now let's look at what Maresca put out. As you can see, this is the lineup that he went for. Jorgensen in goal, Gusto at left back, Badiashile, Tosin, Achimpong, Fernandez, Lavia, Drewsbury Hall, Nkunku at left wing, Delap at front, and Madueke at right wing. Now, when I first seen this lineup, I was confused. My first thought was, where are the youngsters? If you're going to be putting players out, where are the youngsters? You know, Gusto, he turned it around this game. I have to hold my hands up and apologise. This guy had been woeful the last few games. His form, his passing, his defensive awareness was all over the place. But this morning he was brilliant. He defended. His passing was decent. He didn't really put a foot wrong, if I'm being honest. And he inverted well. It wasn't like he was just stuck at left back. He inverted and he did well. And I'm pretty sure he had a shot off on goal. No, he didn't. No, I don't think he did have a shot off a goal. I'm thinking about the game before, and I. Damn it. Get your stats right. Jorgensen in goal. Brilliant. Didn't put a foot wrong. He had a couple moments where you'd kind of, you takes your breath away with a little moment of tenseness where, he was put under a bit of pressure due to a bad back pass, and he dealt with it fine. He didn't just boot the ball out of play. Every pass was to a player, and that's what we want from our goalkeeper. So if I don't see Jorgensen starting the next game, I'm going to be pissed. Sanchez should not be starting any games now. Jorgensen has shown that he can be put under pressure and handle himself fine. And I don't see the issue with Jorgensen. Badiashile, I was a bit concerned with that one. He's not always the best player. He always can, be iffy. His defence, it's like he switches off and he's just not about himself. Already, Jorgensen, Gusto, Badiashile, brilliant. I can't fault him. I really can't. Tosin and Achimpong, right? Tosin, as per usual, brilliant. He got a goal, but we'll go into that later on. And I'm pretty sure he got man of the match as well. Was he my man of the match? I'm going to say no. But again, stay tuned for the rest of the video. I will get into all of that. So Tosin, I think he's just, for someone we got on a free, he's been brilliant. Like the fact we got on a free just makes it even better. It's just like the cherry on top of the cake. Do you know what I mean? So I don't even think there's much to talk about with him. He just holds himself so well and he can control that defence so well. Now Achimpong, everyone was raving about Achimpong. I think he did brilliantly. I think there were a couple moments where he tried to do too much. I think it was at the beginning. I think maybe it was nerves. You could tell by the passing it wasn't quite as direct and as impactful as he'd hoped. But as the game went on, this guy was just charging through players. And that's what you want to see from someone like him that has the energy and the persistence to not give up and keep pushing forward. And it was exciting to watch, and I know it was exciting for you guys as well. And I loved it, and I think this guy's going to be brilliant, and I really hope he can just constantly be that backup to Reece James, because if he is, I think we're cushy in that right back scenario. And I think Gusto, honestly, would not be a bad swap out option for Cucurella at left back. I really don't. Yes, granted, he's not Cucurella, but he showed that he can do it. And he can swap sides if he needs to, because I'm not being funny, he played a lot better at left back than he ever has at right back. And that's a weird statistic to say considering he's an all-out right back. Right, moving on into midfield. You've got Fernandes, Lavia and Dewsbury Hall. Seeing Dewsbury Hall in there kind of got to me a bit, because I thought out of everyone, you've already had game time. You've had the Conference League. Why isn't Santos or Asugu being given these opportunities, and maybe Fernandes can push on into that number 10 role a bit more? But I thought about it and I thought Fernandes has shown he can't sit in that number 10 role. I think when he has that number 10 role split between him and Cole Palmer, it works because he can act a bit more like a number 8, where he can drop back and still press on forward and still attack no, and he has the likes of Caicedo to cover him. But when I think he is the sole number 10, he just gets lost. And I think he just positionally doesn't put himself in the correct spaces. But Fernandes, again, I'm pretty sure got 2 assists. Fernandes is really starting to mould into a Chelsea player. Someone that can offer so much in that midfield. Okay, he's not the quickest, and his tackling isn't always great. But you see it, as soon as he receives the ball, his first instinct is to look up and look for that forward pass. Whether it's a little dink over the top or a through ball. Or just good little tick-a-tacker passing. And we're all starting to be like, you know what? We're not even discussing the price tag anymore. And a lot of other people aren't discussing the price tag. And I think he's starting to deserve that respect on his name. So it's brilliant. And obviously, next door to him, you had Lavia, who Lavia again is just, he's so agile on the ball, especially for a central defensive midfielder. I love watching Lavia, and I think if he can stay, injury free, I think this guy is going to be in our starting lineup all the time. He's going to be a player that will struggle not to get in the starting lineup, and I think as time goes on throughout the season, we're going to see that. And I'm also glad that we have the squad depth that we do, so that we can rotate players, so that we don't just crucify our players and force them through hell just for the sake of it. I mean, look, we didn't play Caicedo at all game, and we won 3-0. And when you see the statistics, especially if you haven't watched the game yet or you've only seen the highlights, you will see how much we dominated this game. It was fascinating. Nkunku at left wing. Twice now Nkunku has played, and both times I've questioned everything. I'm like, this guy's leaving. Why are you just trying to show everyone why you've set this price tag? Is that what it is? But last night I seen a different Nkunku, and this was the guy I was on about, the guy that surprised me. I enjoyed watching him last night. I don't know about you guys, but Nkunku surprised me. And he showed this level of effort where he was given the freedom to roam around. And he really was creating moments. And part of me, I don't want to say it because I don't think it's going to happen, but is he going to stay? Is there a likelihood that he's changed his mind, or Chelsea have started to see something in him that they go, oh, you know what? Maybe as you're staying fit now, maybe we can utilise you. Maybe they're seeing Nkunku as a backup option to maybe a Jamie Gittins if he signs, which apparently is literally on the stage of being announced. And I don't mind it. I really think Nkunku has got the ability to be a world-class elite player. And he really did show that before he came to Chelsea and just in that pre-season before he got injured. And I think, you know, you recall the amount of players that have always gotten injured and then suddenly their careers just die. And Nkunku showed last night that freedom of agility that he's been missing. And I hate to get excited because I don't want to see that and then see him leave, because it sucks. Especially, you know, because I'll back Chelsea players all the time. As much as they frustrate me or annoy me, I will always back them. And I know you guys will too. And I know we've all shat on Nkunku, but last night we can't. He showed up last night and he really put an effort in, and I just got to give him, you know, I got to give him his flowers when they're due, unfortunately. If he still leaves, then fair play. But last night he really showed himself and I loved it. Madueke at right wing. Bearing in mind this is how the lineup was pushed out, I'm actually going to show you, I've actually put out the layout that is literally how the game went when we were in possession and majority of the time. I think Madueke did well. He actually did some one-on-ones that actually paid off, and there were some moments in that game where I was like, finally, this guy's starting to show himself again. And believe it or not, he wasn't at right wing. He actually played at left wing all game, and he really did show himself. For Madueke, considering he was awful last game, I think he knows he had to step up this game and have a bit more freedom to just go out there and show what he's capable of, and he did that. And fair play to him. But obviously, the main man himself, Delap. We will talk about the moment of Delap, but he is really starting to show what we've been missing all along. And that truly that number 9 is just a number on the back of his shirt. There is no curse. It's just a number. And he is really starting to show that physicality, and he was showing some runs that we have just been missing. And I tell you what, him and Bruno Fernandes, I think are starting to have a little bit of a bromance. You know, you talk about Cole Palmer and Fernandes. I'm talking Delap and Fernandes. The link-up play was brilliant. And for anyone who watched the game knows what I'm on about. There were these small little moments of sparks. I'm like, oh my God, this is to come. We've got this man for the whole, you know, wherever now. And it's exciting. Going forward, let's show you the team that is how it looked during the game, okay? This is actually how the team was played out during the game. You had Achimpong and Gusto pushed up higher, especially with Gusto helping out with Lavia, but so was Achimpong. A lot of the time it was just 2 or 3 at the back at best. Madueke pushed out to left. You had Nkunku join Fernandes in like a number 8 role. And you had Drewsbury Hall at right wing, which was not awful. Obviously, he doesn't offer the same things that Neto or Madueke or a Tyreek George would offer. But he did his job, and he didn't do it wrong. He had his moments of, you know, decent passing. Do you know what? I just feel bad for Drewsbury Hall. He doesn't really put a foot wrong most of the times. He really does just do what he's told, and he'll do it to his best of ability. And you have to give him his credit. You know, there's talks of him leaving in the summer, and I think that'd be sad. I think he really is someone that can benefit us, especially with the amount of games we have this season. But you need to remember that we're going to sign some more players. We're going to have the likes of Esteval, Willian coming in. We're stacked out in the midfield as it is. You know, you've got Asugu, you've got Andre Santos. You know, you've got Lavia, you've got Caicedo, Fernandes, Cole Palmer. We are stacked in the midfield, absolutely stacked. So it'll be sad to see him go, but to know that he's won a Conference League, got a European trophy under his belt, fair play to the man, absolutely fair play. So going forward, I'm going to show you some statistics from the game, just to give you an idea of when moments happened, the substitutions. I'm just going to run through basically everything that happened. First things first though, I do have to say the referee was awful. That was the clearest penalty I've ever seen. Okay, literally handballs it, and it's given as a penalty, and then literally suddenly VAR start to question themselves, then spend 3 minutes trying to understand whether or not it is a penalty, and then the ref goes to the screen, quite frankly sees the guy's arm not in a natural position and gets flung round his back, which stops a goal scoring opportunity and still isn't given as a penalty. Ridiculous. But anyway, as you can see, 3-0, nice clean sheet, fair play to the boys. As you can see, in the 48th minute, in the first half, because obviously 3 minutes added on, Fernandes loops in a lovely cross where it finds Tosin. Now, the way Tosin connects with this ball is training routine-esque, He's a tall man, he leaps up in the air, doesn't try to put too much power, just guides it, aims it low, and it just drops into the right-hand side, bounces just before the goal, side netting. Keeper's got absolutely no chance, okay? You could tell by the way we celebrated, it was so bloody art. You can see the guys were like, oh, thank God for that, we scored, okay, let's just push on now. Which leads to 2 minutes later, when Fernandes again does a little dink. He can see that Delap's going to make a run. So he takes a step back, shuffles a bit forward, dinks it over a player, which then Delap takes a world-class turn where, if you haven't seen the highlights, the ball is coming over and he kind of takes it down with his left knee, then cuts the defender onto his right foot and just passes it past the keeper. Now, don't get me wrong, it's world-class, and yes, the keeper should have done better because the pass was so central of the goal. It really did make you question how the keeper didn't save it, but I think the keeper was expecting for it to go on his right-hand side, or Delap's left, with power, and completely just wrong-footed the goalkeeper. And I think sometimes such simple shots can just throw off keepers, and and this guy got made to look like an absolute mug. But to see Delap score was something, as a Chelsea fan, we needed to see. You think in 2 games he's got a goal and assist? Like, what is going on? Oh, I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy for him. You just know that this is what he needs. The confidence boost that you get from being the number 9, having the pressure, especially with Nicholas Jackson getting a red card. So fair bloody play to him. I hope he's going to get 20 goals plus this season. I'm putting the prediction out there now, and let me know if you disagree. So obviously went into first half, 2-0 up, very comfortable. I was happy. I know you fans were happy. It's, considering it was 2:45 in the morning for us, it gives you the lively spirit to keep going. And fair play to the Espérance de Tunis fans. They didn't shut up all game. They brought the energy to the stadium, and fair bloody play to them. I'd love it if us Chelsea fans did that, but we're a bit more posh and we just stay quiet. But going into second half, we just dominated the game. And I mean absolutely dominated it. And obviously in the 59th minute, we made 2 substitutions. Lavio and Delap came off for Sugu and Mark Gu. Now, I won't get you wrong, I was a bit annoyed because where's Andre Santos? Fair play to obviously Sugu. It's nice to see him come on again. And you know what? Again, talking of Sugu, he really does look like Caicedo when he runs, the way he handles, the way he controls the ball, and the way he passes it, and the way it's just movement and everything about him is so like Caicedo. And you gotta love it. He really is a like for like. It's incredible, and it makes you think he really is going to be the best substitute for Caicedo. Because you're not losing a player. And yes, obviously Caicedo is better. Considering how many games he's played, he's got the experience behind him, and he knows the Premier League. He knows everything. He's learnt so much. Brilliant. Mark Gu came on, obviously, and does what Mark Gu does best, and just chase everyone around. Actually had a very good opportunity where he nearly scored, but the keeper's trailing leg stopped it. It was a great shot, little one-on-one. But unfortunately, obviously, it didn't go in. But once again, Mark Gu is, for someone we bought for 6 million from Barcelona, I love him. I love the energy of him. You just know it's an all-out football player. He just loves to play football. And he's got that hunger to want to score goals. And I love it. Absolutely love it. Tyreek George came on for Madueke, and Andre Santos finally makes his debut for Chelsea in the 67th minute. It was a bit rocky for the first 10 minutes. I think nerves. You forget how young these players are, and obviously he's been hyped up so much. So I thought, oh, he really needs to hit the ground running there, or he's going to get ridiculed by all us fans and critics and everything like that. So for him to come on and make a few mistakes at the beginning, passes, losing the ball, losing possession, I just started to feel for him. But as the game went on, he started to show momentum. He started to show some passing, some good movement. And, maybe that makes you question why he hasn't been used already. Maybe Maresca's seen in training that he just needs a little bit more time just to mould to this team, because he's not the number one man in this squad, and he has to understand that and know and fit and train and build relationships with these players. But for him to start to show himself as time went on, obviously he was only given 20 minutes. For 10 minutes he showed his colour. I hope that he comes on for against Benfica, which I'm excited for again. Saturday at 9 o'clock should be a good game. Where's that? In Charlotte, New York. And again, it's going to be like 32 degrees. This is mental. Absolutely mental. In the 82nd minute, we got to see Mamadou Sarr come on for gusto. And do you know what? I looked at him, I thought, this guy's nervous. You could just see it in his face, like he's so serious. And I was like, this guy is nervous. And do you know what? He looked all right. He's tall. He looked about it. Do you know what? I don't think that he did enough in the game for me to say, okay, yeah, this guy did this, did that. I just think he looked comfortable. He did what he needed to do. I don't think he lost the ball. I think, yeah, he looked all right. And I think as time goes on and these guys get more confidence and they play in the Premier League and start to really build some chemistry, I think they're going to really show something special. Now, Mr. Tyreek George, who, look at the assist. Andre Santos got an assist. Now, when I first seen this on screen, it said Nkunku, and I was like, well, this is a bit weird. The zone seemed to think that Nkunku got the assist when I seen it was Santos. So scratch all that. Andre Santos got an assist in his first start. So bloody hell, what am I saying? In the last 10 minutes, he's bloody brilliant. Got to clap the man and clap Delap as well for getting his goal for Chelsea. Oh, I was so lost with hope after that loss to Flamengo. If that team had started against Flamengo, we would have bloody well won. And I'm not joking, I really think we would have beaten them. Oh, so frustrating. Andre Santos puts a lovely ball through, a side pass to Tyreek George, but this isn't Tyreek George's first shot. He'd had a shot on the left-hand side where he smashed it with his left foot, and yeah, granted, it was very direct towards the keeper, so obviously it was an easy save. But he caught it really well. But his shot from Andre Santos' assist, he just smashed it so hard that the keeper just had no choice but let it slip through his hands. He just walloped it, and it had just gone straight through the keeper's hands, in for 3-0. Game over in the 97th minute. I'm pretty sure it was like the last kick of the game. Oh, I was so happy. But let me show you the statistics of this game. That is what you call domination. Their XG was 0.07. That shows you how little of a chance they had at goal. It just shows the attacking presence they had. It just wasn't existent. We had a 1.31 XG. Great. Ball possession 74%. Great. Total shots 16. Expected goals 1.31. Obviously, like I just said. We had 16 shots, 7 on target. We just absolutely dominated this game. And it was so fun to watch. It was so nice. We are a fan base that can react and suddenly be so immobilized from a loss. Suddenly we have PTSD from previous seasons where it's just gone horribly, horribly wrong. And yes, granted, this is Espérance Tunis, a team that I had never heard of before. So I can't turn around and act like we've won the Champions League, but it means we go through to the next round. And it means we have a chance to push on and hopefully progress through this tournament. And that's all I want as a fan, is just to watch some great, entertaining football. And don't get me wrong, I'm still rocky on Maresca. I still think there are moments that I think, is he the man for us? But the way he's got these boys controlling games, I've got to give him his credit. This man is really starting to know what he does, and his substitution making is brilliant. He brought all 3 young guys on in the same game, and you just got to give him, fair play. I moaned that, okay, just because Asuka came on, where's Andre Santos? But then Andre Santos and Mamadou Sarr came on. He gave all 3 boys a chance, and so I'm so happy. I'm so glad. So my man of the match for this game, before we move on, my man of the match, Enzo Fernandez, to get 2 great assists. He controlled the midfield so well. He really did look like such an impact player. He was top. Absolutely brilliant. But my shithouse player of the match, which is horrible because I don't like being mean. But do you know what? I don't think I can give someone that. Well, they all played relatively so well. It sucks. I love to give someone a shithouse. It's really annoying. Do you know what? In the comment section, you tell me who yours was. And let me know why. Because I can't make my mind up. I'm so looking forward to next game. I really am looking forward to next game. But if you guys have gotten this far in the video, please drop a like and please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. God, I love this club. I love Chelsea Football Club. Remember, 1,000 subs, I am doing a giveaway. I'm going to give away a home shirt or away shirt of your choice to you guys with a personalised number, with all the badges on, whatever you want for you guys, just as a give back, because doing this stuff is not easy. And a lot of my videos are getting literally over 120 views a video, so you guys are all starting to tune in, and I really appreciate it. It tells me that I'm doing something right. There's still a long journey to improve, but I'm enjoying it. It's good. It's so good. Right, thank you for everyone tuning in. Thank you if you got this far. I love you all. See you in the next one. Up you Blues. Peace.